Welcome everyone to a new gameplay series on a Legionary's life. First of all, I want to say thank you so much to the historical gamer who actually gifted me this game. And I don't think I would have gotten it without him because I don't usually like text-based adventures, which is kind of what this is. But with the graphics and everything, I think it's well done. Now, the first thing I want to say is this game has a Baldur's Gate style, well, I guess it's D&D style, roll for your character stats, and allows you to re-roll as many times as you'd like. So just prepare yourself. We may be here for a while. I'm looking for something. I think the best roll I've seen is a plus 13, where plus minus is determined by the value above or below 50 for each of these. So this would be neutral, plus 3, this is neutral. This is minus 6 overall. Minus 4, minus 2, everything here neutral. That's not good. And this looks more promising. We have 9 here, plus 9, okay, minus 2, so plus 7. And then we have neutral, so plus 7, not bad. Anyway, these things you can kind of see. By the way, you could easily emphasize physical or mental. I think that the balance is actually the best way of going. How's this one looking, by the way? 2, 13, 14. This is 13. This is the best roll I've seen as well. Unfortunately, a lot of the points are in Constitution. I would much rather them be down here. So part of me thinks maybe we'll try mental. Let's see how mental does for us. We emphasize mental, but actually we didn't get that. Oh, we got 63 in intellect. Good gracious. Endurance is 39, which is unbelievably bad. However, this roll in general, charisma and awareness, I'm not a huge fan of those really low scores. You have almost no way of bringing these up. So it's pretty, that's why I'm trying to emphasize more mental. So this is just your character creation. I hope you don't mind I spent a little bit of time here re-rolling. This is actually a lot of fun for me. I really enjoy games that allow you to roll. So if you don't want to see this, you might want to skip ahead a little, maybe a minute or so. This is actually, okay, I don't like it, but let's count. This is, okay, that's a minus 11 actually, so maybe this isn't as good as I thought. Plus 5, plus 8, minus 11, so it's a plus 2, and then plus 15 if we count the plus 13, and then minus 1. So this is a plus 14, that's a damn good roll. I don't know if the emphasis on mental is really having any effect. Does physical? I don't think that last one was good. Oh my goodness, 22 here. Awareness is good. Charisma is absolutely terrible. But having such a low roll kind of at least allows you to... you know your strengths at least. Constitution of 72, but quickness being a bit low, this is still a really, really strong roll. Let's see. So it's minus 8, or plus 8. Oh my gosh. Plus 30. No, it's impossible. 30. 25. Okay, here we go. Back down to 15. And back up to 10. This is plus 25. I'd be almost crazy not to take it, but I'm not going to take it because I don't like this. This is the stuff you're going to improve throughout the game. So we'll reroll. Oh my gosh, 21 here, but awareness. As soon as I see this low roll here, we'll reroll. Okay, let's go to mental because I hope that'll help us. I don't think it actually matters. This seems to be either broken or not paying attention to my selection. Maybe beyond the first roll. Oh, wow. I've never seen charisma that high. But strength being 21 below the average is probably just impossible to win with, so we'll re-roll. But this game, by the way, what is this game, right? 4 minutes into the video, I'm finally telling you. Well, if you're not already aware of it, you play as a Roman legionary. During the Second Punic War, I think it also follows the Third and Fourth Punic Wars, and it's a very faithful historical companion to the events of the time. This truly is a video game about history. This is, Oregon Trail, for example, was actually made by people who were really trying to get people to understand history. I think it was like an educational video game. I remember playing it. Oh my gosh. Okay, awareness is not great, but intellect is so high. We'll just do this one. I think we can I mean, these stats are not great. 22, so to call this plus 21. Oh my gosh, this is the best roll by far. Plus 21 and plus 12, plus 33. Okay, let's just accept. And we'll be Tortuga Power. Probably I could have just done Testudo, which is normally my test name. Oh, we have some points left over. These points, by the way, are accrued as you play. So there's a replayability in the sense that you get more points left over the more times you play. So we can actually improve some skills here. Get enough of them and you can actually take this Natural Swordsman one, which is insane. So you start the game with skill value, sword skill of 36 instead of 29. Even more importantly, your chance of successfully training your sword will be twice as much as normal, which is huge. Huge. And same thing, you can do the same thing with your shield. Now, between the two, I think focusing on sword is much more important. You can use it in almost all situations. I don't think we're going to care too much about trying to get money, like spending our points on gear. I would much rather spend them on skills. So let's get this awareness up, because that is the one thing I think it's going to be very hard to train. I'm going to get this up to 50 at least, and I also want charisma up. So at that point, I'm not going to increase it anymore because it jumps to a much higher. I don't think we need intellect any higher than it already is. And between all these, endurance is probably the most important with coordination. I'm going to go with coordination because I think that coordination is probably the most important. I mean, look at that. That's not true. They're all important. We want to hit for a lot. We need strength. We want, to go a lot of rounds in combat. We need endurance. We want to survive hits, which we're going to need. We're going to take hits eventually. Constitution, quickness, how often you're going to attack. We're already good there. But coordination is your ability to recover, attack, with successfully, I guess. So it speaks for itself. It's going to be important. So we have 14 points left over. We can't do anything here. We'll go ahead and just take a look at what kind of stuff we can possibly get. I don't think we're going to get anything better. Yeah, we can get. Oh, I see. It'll cost us only 9 to get a slightly better sword. Wow. Let me compare this 60, because that's actually pretty good. This is actually quite a good sword. For 60, we have 14 points. Okay, so we can get this if we want, which is okay. It is better, but so marginally. Not sure it's worth it. We'll probably end up taking a helmet and then giving ourselves some money. So let's compare. This is the better one. So awareness penalty of 2, but 12 and 39. That's not that much better. Oh, this is interesting. 20 points, though, for the next best one. Eventually, we will want to upgrade I guess we'll go with the better sword here. And this is slightly better, just only slightly. But probably makes it worth taking. And then just the rest of the points on money. Alright, here we go. The First War lasted over 20 years. Conflict had been only a matter of time. Once the relentless expansion of Rome came close to the huge Carthaginian sphere of influence, a young power propelled a staggering self-confidence. So they're talking about Rome. Rome had most of the Italic peninsula under its control at the time. Oh god, I hit skip! Oh god. There's no way to go back and read the rest of that because I'm a big dummy. But basically, we're a legionary. I think Cannae, however you want to say it, has already happened. So we're just going to train, and we're in Spain right now. I don't know if it says that anywhere. I wonder if I can go back and read. No. We're in Spain, so training. This is a little bit like, I think there was this gladiator game that you could do where you train gladiators and then fight them in a pit. I never played it, but I saw it. So we're kind of in that mode right now. We're just going to train our javelin, or we can solo practice, which will give us either shield or sword, or sometimes both. That solo practice is only for sword, but the sparring, which we can do down here, we can only choose the top one right now because we need people to like us to spar with the better warriors. We can choose whether to focus on sword or shield. I think that having your sword skill up is going to be very important, but it's always important to get these things up. Now, what do we need to focus on? Coordination, strength, endurance. Endurance is actually a huge one, but I think all of these... No, okay, so these two improve your endurance. Let's try this. Okay, we got coordination, which is still good. And now, of course, to balance, just constantly spamming the training, which is what I like to do. You have to kind of spend time like playing a board game. This is dependent on my intellect, so we should be really good at playing board games. Yeah, we gain 3 denarii. Opinion has gone up and morale has gone up, so that's good. We just do that once, maybe twice. The stress will go down, and then we can hit the gym again. Let's try strength and constitution. Very good. I don't want to... Oh, the thread of your life has spun. So now this takes us to a little separate event. Scaling walls is part of today's drill. In front of your line, a ladder is propped up against the walls. One by one, the men ahead of you sprint towards it and start climbing. Very soon is your turn. How do you approach it? Nonchalant and confident, or careful and concerned? I think we should be careful and concerned. As you slowly move upwards, you are looking excessively careful and wimpy. Aww. So, you know, it's a roll the dice. So people dislike us. A few more steps and you're over the wall. Unharmed. Well, at least we got over unharmed. So it looks like if we had done it the other way, we might have been impressive but injured ourselves, which would have been a morale penalty for recovering. So I think we actually probably still chose the right thing. I don't know. It's tough to say. Okay, strength is increased. Let's try to run. No, let's try to swim. Okay, well let's try to play a board game. Like me, they did. I think we're going to get a really good result from that constantly. Let's do some solo practice. Sword has increased. Sword is increased. And another thing, you are on guard duty when you hear strange noise. It came from somewhere to your left. Our awareness is pretty good, and our intellect is definitely up there, so let's investigate. Ah, it's just now. With relief, you go back to your post. The rest of your shift passes without an incident. So that was just a possibility of a negative event. Looks like we, I don't know, passed whatever negative event would have happened. So our intellect, it's going to be very interesting because the intellect is not going to play a lot into most of the combat, which is, you know, it's a huge part of this game, but a lot of the other events we're going to have a pretty easy time with. Unfortunately, the high intellect actually means that sacrificing for, offering a sacrifice, I should say, is going to give us less morale than it would otherwise. So that also costs a fair amount of money. I mean, in the very beginning of the game, money's important enough that we want to save it. Let's continue. This is really the bread and butter of getting better, I think, is doing this, increasing that, and then, in my opinion, strength and constitution. Darn it, we lost morale because we did it too often. Let's just go and play a board game. So it's going to give us this event like every time. Let's try it now. Hit the gym. Ah, no. Let's play a board game. We gained 3 denarii, but we didn't... Oh, no. I wonder why it went down. Okay, now morale was increased by 2, and troop opinion increased by 2. I've never seen opinion go down from playing a board game. Normally, my characters are not as intellectual, which means I play dice. Which, you know, it's just random, I guess, whether you win or lose denarii. And what? Why am I losing? Huh. Okay, well, we don't have much time left, so let's just get in a little bit more practice. I probably should focus on javelin training as well, but I really want to get my skills up. What's our character looking like now? 52. So endurance is extremely low. We need endurance desperately. And of course, we're not getting it. 2 fellow soldiers are playing dice next to you. Equipment penalties are suspended. So I don't know if you saw, but we have a 2 awareness penalty from our helmet. You get penalties from wearing greaves, I think quickness. Anyway, suddenly the one named Metellus turns on Volusinus and calls him a cheater. From where you stand, you are not sure whether he's right or wrong. Let's defend him. Very soon others follow your lead after a heated argument until he gives up, leaves cursing. Okay, good. So we got a trooper opinion is raised by 5. Fantastic. Not sure whether or not he was cheating or not, but, it's kind of an aggressive claim. So, I don't know. I don't think there's a wrong decision there, looking at it from the outside, but just choose one and hope the points roll, the dice roll goes your way. Still really, really need endurance. Ah, thank God. And we're losing morale, but I think we can afford it because our morale is so high right now. Just want to rotate. I don't want to do the same one twice in a row. Let's try now. Yes. Oh, quickness. Interesting. Okay, time is over. So now we have to get ready for battle. How's our character looking? I mean, we're very quick. We're pretty well coordinated. Awareness is down from 55 to 53 just because we're wearing that helmet. Sword of 35, I mean, could be better. Javelin, we are going to embarrass ourselves even throwing it, probably. But that was a conscious decision, so we'll have to make do with it. The camp bursts into activity as the whole army prepares to leave. You march to the south. It doesn't take long for your destination to become apparent. You are bound for New Carthage, the capital of the Carthaginian colonies here in Hispania. It's a daring move and very risky. So we're under Scipio. He's only known as Scipio right now, but he will later be known as Scipio Africanus. Probably one of the best Roman generals in antiquity. One of the best generals in general in antiquity. He's right up there, I would say, with Hannibal and Alexander the Great, etc. Several days later, you reach your destination and set camp not far from the city. According to Camp Talk, the closest enemy army is about 10 days' march from here. A long siege is out of the question. You'll have to take New Carthage by storm, so 10 days is just not enough time to siege them out before an enemy army reacts. You cast a glance at the city walls, strong stone walls. The thought of fighting your way up there makes your stomach churn. It's hard not to think that you may be looking at the place where your days will end. Interesting. Okay, well, we have at least a slightly better sword. It does a little bit more damage, that's right, but I think the handiness is still just as bad. And otherwise, we're in the default. You can never change your shield. At least I've not lived long enough to be able to change my shield. I made it pretty far in this game in my last character, and I've only played twice, but I feel pretty confident in the combat system, so anyway. Next morning, your maniple is among the first to move out of the camp and reach the plain right in front of the city. If what your centurion said is true, the garrison of New Carthage consists of a small mercenary army, possibly 1,000 strong, and of course the city militia. You are taking your place on the battlefield when all of a sudden, cries of alarm rise from the ranks. You look ahead with a start. The city gate is wide open. A screaming mass, numbering thousands, leaves the safety of the walls, quickly closing the gap with your partially deployed first line. Judging by their scant equipment, they must be the militia. The enemy commander wouldn't risk his precious mercenaries like this. Blood pounding in your ears, you get ready to receive them as the first battle of your life engulfs you. When the other side is at the right distance, you prepare to hurl your first javelin. We're going to throw it into the enemy ranks because we'll be lucky if it hits anything. Oh my god, thank goodness. It did something. As the other side gets closer, you steel yourself for incoming fight. Alright, we're up against Militiaman. Now, we can always click over here and see what kind of stats he has. This guy happens to be very strong, has good endurance, about the same constitution as myself. Slower, much slower than me, because this is a 50 point. We're probably like over here. We have higher coordination and awareness, yeah. Most importantly, his weapon and defense are just atrocious. Now, mine are not that great. Mine are probably like halfway between, around 25, a little bit higher for the weapon. He's also using a spear, which is going to put me at a disadvantage, unfortunately. So, attacks coming from this opponent will have a reduced chance of success thanks to the superior weapon reach. Then that's just because he's using a spear. So if I click on myself, we know that we're up against the spearman, and attacks against this opponent will have a lower chance of success because of the inferior weapon reach. So you can see that it's symmetric, right? We have it has greater reach, so anyway. We have a chance to throw our javelin. I don't see any reason why not to. 50% chances, in my opinion, worth throwing. And we hit him. It's a very good start. Now, this is our health. our position or something like this. What is it called again? Stance. So this basically means how prepared we are, how balanced we are, how tactically deployed we are. I mean, how, like, what kind of shape we are. I imagine this is kind of like in a fencing thing. One person may do a strike, the other person will parry. But if the person parries in the wrong way, usually the person who parries should have, if you knock their sword aside, your sword is pointed at them, it gives you an advantage to thrust. Stuff like that. So it's kind of like the ebb and flow of battle, who has the momentary advantage. And if you do something like you can shield bash them, shield knock or charge, you can knock them basically off their feet or imbalance them, and then you have a chance to really strike them with your sword. That's kind of how that all works. So we have 3 main actions: attack, which is obvious; feint, which is kind of like this is where you're trying to get them off balance. So you're just forcing them to react to you, and hopefully, you do something which will open up their guard somehow. That's the whole point. We also have soft spot, which is just attack, but you're looking for a chink in the armor. So lower chance of hit, but higher chance of avoiding armor. My typical first move is to go for a feint. Now, we can also just change the attitude here. The further forward we go, the more offensive balance we are. So we can see normal is kind of like, the thumbs up, by the way, is pointing straight down is, do we have something pointing straight down? Soft spot? Yeah. So the neck is pretty much completely down. This means that it has a 0% chance of success. The thumbs completely up is a 100% chance of success. And the thumb angles itself according to the percentage chance in that half circle. So if we go over back to feint, one thing that improves our chance to hit is if we take a more aggressive attitude. So we can see if you look at just look at the thumbs up there, and see it's rotating up now. It rotates back down, rotates up. So if I'm more defensive, I have less of a chance to hit, but when they attack me, they have less of a chance to hit. So you can do this whole thing, and I feel like you should be adjusting this, not necessarily every turn, but almost every turn, trying to get the most bang for your buck. Against this weaker militiaman, he's actually starting already wounded too. That's because of my javelin? Yeah, I think I hit him first, which is great. Also, he's not wearing any armor on his chest, so I have this attack option, and you can see that if I'm able to hit him anywhere, all he has is a spear and shield. If I hit him anywhere, I'm going to penetrate his armor because he has none, which means that places like his groin and his neck become pretty valuable targets. Even his head, I mean, we can toggle the damage here. It's 1.5 for head, so that's probably our best shot, since neck is very hard to hit and only 2 times. And this one, actually, head is nearly as likely to be hit as anything else. Alright, anyways, I'm not going to tutorialize every single time, but that gives you a rundown of how things go. So we're going to start off by swinging for the fences to try to get him off balance. I think this is fine. And he resisted it. Now, because we're quick and he is not as quick, we actually got a second turn. And this, if we click on ourselves, whoops, is it here? Yeah, here it is. So our second action has a 8.2% chance of proccing, which means we get 2 actions in a row. Sometimes we'll roll a 4.6%, which means that our turn gets skipped entirely. This is based on your quickness and your coordination. I think maybe just quickness. I'm not sure. So we got a second roll. We know that I don't want to swing for the fences as much on this one. He's probably going to try to recover. Okay, let's just swing for the fences. Let's go. Oh, it succeeded, which is even better, and he succeeded in his recovery. Now, unfortunately, getting those 2 turns has one negative effect since he recovered back up to full. The negative effect is that I went twice, so I'm a little bit more fatigued. And fatigue is kind of a bad thing for me. So I might go purely defensive here and do respite, which would give me, basically it would give me a chance to rest. However, as you can see from him, if you do an attack and not a feint, and you miss, you open yourself up for a counter because your stance is lowered. Now, in my opinion, that's the best time to go after them. So let's just do a quick one, which will have less, and it didn't work, but he failed, he got a second turn, yeah, but he got 2 actions in a row, so he was able to recover a second time. I want to still do respite. This time I succeeded. It lowers slightly my fatigue. So we'll be doing that off and on. But every time he misses, I'm going to just go after him hard. Because his next... Oh, even better. And his, you can see ... happened over here. That means that he had his turn skipped. Can we view his equipment? No. So we don't know exactly what his thing is. This character's is temporarily denied any reach advantage and weapon attacks are severely penalized. Also, recover is moderately penalized when fighting in open space. Okay, interesting. So his chance to recover is less. When his guard goes down, our attack... See, look at our attack percentages are way up. However, our success at landing a successful feint is also going way up. So I'm going to just, as I like to say, swing for the fences. He resisted. Looks like he had a second turn that passed. We're getting fatigued pretty quickly here, but let's just go ahead and... Yep. He did succeed, so that's a net loss for us, but I think we're still going to go after that. Oh man, this guy's just recovering too quickly. So we're going to learn from that. We'll have to see that he's recovering pretty easily from things, which means that we will just attack him directly a little bit more often. So he missed. Let's do one feint, or we could just attack him directly. Doesn't look like that. I mean, the head, it's pretty good. Oh, wow, it's a huge hit. So he succeeded. Let's go back on the defensive and just respite, which only has a... Yeah, so he missed again. Go full forward. Attack. Head does not have as good of a chance to succeed this time. Should we go for a feint? If I can land one feint, we'll probably be in good shape. You know what? Let's just go for the attack. Nah, you know what? No, I'm going to go for the feint because if I attack and I miss... Please don't. Yes! If I attack and I miss, then then my stance is lowered, which is bad. So let's go for the head again. Another hit. Only 4 damage. Not ideal. He had 2. He landed the second one. Let's go for a quick feint. Succeeded, and he did not recover. Okay, so let's go back for the head. Missed, so that's bad. He failed, which means we might be able to get him. Well, since he failed, we have a 100% chance of recovering. Let's just do that. There's one thing I haven't mentioned is if you leave your... He will automatically be able to succeed, yeah. If you leave your attitude too low for too long, you start taking morale penalties. But if we can avoid that, that would be wonderful. So let's just do a feint. Since the situation's almost over, and I have this guy pretty wounded, I would really like... He's going to attack us. He missed. Great. This is our opportunity. I feel like we might as well just start... let's go for this. This is pretty good. We're going to be a little bit fatigued now. We failed. Oh, boy. Well, I guess I could just attack him. Torso has a pretty good chance of succeeding. Let's just do that. 3 damage. Boy, that's not a whole lot. Okay, let's do a respite. Hopefully... Yes. He recovers. He succeeded. Darn it. And that's it. Okay. So we probably got a little bit... Yeah, a little bit of opinion and stuff. We didn't kill him outright, which means... no good. But the battle's over for us. We didn't take any damage, which is really good. Carthaginian militia is in disarray. An improvised pursuit is attempted, but your vanguard is stopped at the city gate before it can break in. Okay, so we're now at the city gate. How's our character doing? Most importantly, our health is full, which is nice for the next engagement. And I think we'll just continue directly. Censure. Oh, okay. So we had to do a defense, weapon, strength, and constitution check. The Centurion beckons to you and a couple other legionaries. You are to temporarily leave the maniple and report back to the camp. I don't know why. When you arrive, you discover what's going on. You'll be part of a 500-strong unit with a very special task. Proconsul Scipio himself leads you away from the battlefield close to the edge of the lagoon, which runs along the northern portion of the city walls. Once there, he invites you to get into the lake. You look at each other in confusion. Surely he's not expecting you to swim to the walls. The local guides who are accompanying your party move forward with an amused expression on their faces. The water is surprisingly shallow. At this time of the day, the low tide allows you to walk to the other side. Oh, okay, great. Here the walls are completely undefended. As your companions prepare the ladders for an easy climb, you throw a look back at the opposite shore just in time to see the proconsul and his escort ride back to the battlefield. You scale the walls undisturbed and quickly move eastwards along the battlement. Most of the defenders run away from you, but eventually you meet a small group intent on stopping your advance. Okay, so here we are, another militiaman. This guy looks just as bad in skills. He's quicker, more coordinated, a little bit less endurance, less awareness, which means that I think... Yeah, we'll throw a Javelin. Nice, another hit. Which means that I think that this feint is based on awareness and quickness. Or just awareness if it's normal. Yeah, just awareness for normal, and for deft, which is a really strong feint, just awareness based. Okay. That's actually a chance to overcome the opponent's resistance. So I don't know what checks go into the initial feint itself. Interesting. Well, what's our quickness at? I already forgot. Wow, our quickness is 61, so we should do the quick one a lot. In fact, we can kind of do it in a defensive stance. Yeah, it's resisted. Wow, so he went for knock, which it might spell his doom. The reason why knock is good, I mean, I can point it out, is because, oh my gosh, we can actually succeed with knock now. It reduces the enemy's stance by 64 to 80. So if I actually was to succeed with it, it would take this militia's stance down to 0. I can't tell which one is closer to 100. Okay, it's definitely charge. So charge will reduce it by 80 to 100. Oh my gosh. But yeah, if you miss, your own stance is lowered by 30 to 60. Now, I'm not sure. It might be worth doing. These are going to succeed almost for sure. An attack is not a guarantee, so this is kind of the interesting thing. I can take his stance down. His stance is probably at like what? What'd you call that? I'd say around 40. So probably, I mean, let's just do the charge. Let's go for it. This is crazy, but yeah, it worked. So even his 38 recovery brought him back to the same point. So we could keep doing this until his thing failed. Unfortunately, I think the fatigue on this is high. Yeah, 4. So we don't want to do it forever. We'll just take a strike at his head, which is almost a guaranteed to succeed. We did 4 damage, of course. I think we'll just keep whacking him at the head. Oh, he has... And he recovered twice and he's back up to full. That was very bad luck on our part, unfortunately. I didn't really think about it. Armor is 50%. I didn't look at this. All you have to do is open your eyes. Could have hit him in the groin for 1.2 damage or just taken some whacks at his torso. Anyway, let's go back to feint. Or should I do respite? I think we're okay, so let's go back to quick feint. So I'm going to be defensive, waiting. Oh, he actually... So let's try to do a recover here. I'm pretty confident that he's not going to hit us. And he was able to recover, so we'll just try to recover ourselves. Normally after their recover... Yeah, good. So that... Oh, okay, 2 comms join the fight. Wow. Things are probably not going to go well for this militiaman. We'll just open up entirely now. We'll just go for broke. Yeah, because we have 2 other people with us. They're going to attack him. They both hit. It's our turn. I think we'll just keep doing the feints since our buddies are doing the damage. We failed. Of course we did. But they may just kill him outright. Nope. Saving a little bit for me. Yeah, we have a good chance of hitting him the torso. Let's just do that. Yeah, 7 damage. Did fail, and we'll do it again. Almost got him. And he failed, and I thought for sure he'd die, and there it is. Oh, what? Still no? Okay. There it is. Got him. There's no time to dwell on what just happened. You rush forward along the rest of the assault You rush forward along the rest of the assault team. Got it. I can read. Hooked on phonics worked for me. Soon you reach the eastern gate, letting in the bulk of your legions. Okay, good. So things are really looking good because we haven't taken any damage. Fatigue is usually a reset in between these big breaks. You follow your maniple into the city streets. Your orders are very clear. Secure the city by killing everything that meets you in the open. Hopefully nobody will be so ill-considered. Your thoughts are interrupted when a small number of militiamen stand in your path. Okay. We didn't want to do it, but okay. Getting very lucky with these javelin tosses, I feel. Let's take a look at our next victim. Strong, very uncoordinated, and decent awareness, though. So I think that we'll go with feints on this guy. You kind of see my plan already. He missed. We'll open way up. We'll go for a normal one. Succeeded. And he failed at his recovery, so we'll start whacking him. He has no armor. Head looks like a good shot. 6 damage. Do it again. Got another hit. Wow. And he failed, so I think we'll go for... I mean, they're all almost the same. We'll go for the torso, because I think we'll kill him. Got him. Just like that. You look at the militiaman's lifeless body. Quick thoughts flickering through your mind. I'm going to say pity. Because I think militiamen and, you know, it's not even mercenaries. They're not well trained. They had no chance. Drafted into service, forced to fight to defend his home. It does ring a bell. You wonder about the people waiting for him at home, never to see him come back. An officer yelling out orders brings you back down to earth with a bump. You move on. You keep marching along the streets as is custom. Looting is strictly prohibited until battle is over. Stick to the rules. Okay, I guess we don't have a choice, but maybe you could. Now, I think this is a good place to bring this first episode to a close. I'm not sure how long this series will be. It'll just probably be a couple of episodes, 3, 4, 5 maybe. We'll see how far we get, or when I get bored of it. But since Rule the Waves just finished, we have a little bit of time to do fun little, side journeys into games like this. So for now, thanks for watching. If you wouldn't mind, just because this is the first video in the series, pressing the thumbs up. I don't ask for that tip, well, at all, ever, but just on the first video to increase awareness. And actually, yeah, looking back on it, I don't really need it for this series. This is just going to be a small offshoot. It's not like a hardcore Rule the Waves one or something. So anyways, thanks for watching. I hope you're enjoying this, and until the next video, take care.